movies have a chokehold on us, and it makes sense because that's when we were really like booming. Magic. I'm gonna need you to be quiet because mommy's trying to film. Give me a kiss. Why you don't love your mommy? Hey guys, and welcome back to another absolutely spirited video. My name is Layla, not Leela, not Lila, not Lola, not Delilah, and most certainly not Leonard. As you guys can tell by the title, we are going to be getting into some movies. I decided to switch it up. My original plan was to go down every popular genre or well-known genre and give you guys a list, 3 or 4 movies from each one that I think are worthwhile watching. And I feel like me being Black, the 90s movies have a chokehold on us, and it makes sense because that's when we were really like booming. Magic. I'm gonna need you to be quiet because mommy's trying to film. There are so many other underrated Black movies, some which are from the 90s on this list, but there are so many other ones that are worthwhile watching. And so I'm gonna release my people from the chokehold and shackles of Baby Boy, Friday, and Love and Basketball. But before we get into it, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to thumbs up the video and turn on your post notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now, without further ado, let's jump right in. I wrote down 13 movies that I deem underrated but worthwhile watching. So the first movie that I swear by is Dead Presidents. Now, I don't think this one is not as well known, but I don't think it's as popularized as one of like the 90s movies that makes the list of movies you watch all the time. And that just doesn't sit well with me. And Dead Presidents stars Larenz Tate, Keith David, Terrence Howard. And basically the movie, just in a nutshell, is poor Black people who are basically like, F this, we're gonna rob a bank, but they don't succeed. The movie is really, really, really good. Like, watch it. The next movie I have for you is called Mississippi Damned. And let me tell you, I'll be damned. Because this movie, literally, like, if you don't pay attention and you blink, you're literally like, what did I just miss? Why is the cousin with the brother? Why is the mother killing the husband? So many twists and turns, you have to pay attention. But it's a good movie. It touches on sexual assault in families and protecting the predator type of deal. And it touches on a lot of issues that we have in the Black community. You know, that one aunt that's married to the no good husband, the mama that got 4 kids to feed and one of them's gay, so she needs to figure out and be there for her child. So it's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and it's a great Black film. Now, the next movie I have is called The Inkwell, and this movie was like one of my favorite movies growing up. And this one stars Larenz Tate as well and Jada Pinkett, and it's a coming of age story, and it features, Larenz Tate as a teenager, and he's a weirdo. Not even gonna lie, he's a weirdo. And he meets Jada Pinkett's character and they hit it off. But this movie is so cute. It's not too much of a chick flick, and it's not too much of a like, this is aggressive. Like, it shows Black people in a good light, and that's why I like it so much. Next we have is Eaves, Bayou. If you believe in voodoo, I wouldn't watch this one. And this movie stars Journey Smollett, Megan Good with her fine self, Lynn Whitfield, Samuel L. Jackson. Like, there's a lot of popular names and familiar faces in this movie. This one basically is a coming of age story of a psychic. And this movie is really good too. Watch this all the time. Every time it comes on DirecTV and I'm watching it all the time. I love this movie. Love it. The next movie is called She Hate Me. I think it's Hate, not Hates. She Hate Me. And this movie is kind of funny to explain, but basically there's this Black man who works for a white company you know, trying to be the black man that makes a difference. But he's not a sellout or anything. He just was naive enough to think because he's been with the company so long that him being black wasn't gonna matter. Something happens, but I can't tell you because I want you to watch the movie. But basically, somebody dies, he gets fired, and then his ex-girlfriend, who's a lesbian, meets up with him after however long they've been broken up with the proposition. And that's all I'm giving to y'all. The next movie is Brown Sugar. I feel like a lot of people know about Brown Sugar, but I still feel it's an underrated movie. And this one stars Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan, Boris Kodjoe, Nicole Ari Parker. Yes, and it's about two childhood friends, and basically, you know, they were literally just friends and grew up together, loved the same or similar things, were both into hip hop, you know, that was their vibe. And, you know, they got older, you know, they were living their lives, doing their things. One goes off and gets married, the other one gets engaged, but really, like, in a nutshell, it's like they fall for each other. But it's cute. I like the movie. It has a lot of good laughs, and I think it's very underrated. Like, it should be talked about more than Love and Basketball. Don't get me wrong, I love Love and Basketball, but I'm tired. I'm tired of Double or Nothing, okay? I'm tired. Next, we have the movie Sparkle. Now, I'm not talking about the remake Sparkle with Whitney Houston and Jordan Sparks. I'm talking about Sparkle from 1978 with Lynette McKee, and that's the only person I know, but I know the movie very well. And the plot is pretty much the same as the remake, but it's a little bit more tragedy with the older sister. If you've seen the movie Sparkle, the remake, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this is one of my all-time favorites. And now you're jumping, we're gonna shake a little, so you're doing fine. And now you're right on time, have a ball. Oh, my mama don't follow the rules. We're gonna keep it in the group. And I say that I'm too young to let you know just where I'm coming from. But you will see that it's just a matter of time. My love will surely make you mine. Well, little girl, everyone seems so attractive. Now that's right, it's alright. But yes, Sparkle, that's my movie, okay? Like, call me sister girl, okay? Next, we have Sister Act 2. This movie stars, of course, Whoopi Goldberg and Lauryn Hill. If you love Lauryn Hill, you should really be a Sister Act fanatic. Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, Sister Act fanatic. Because, like, if you love Lauryn Hill, like, this literally, like, come on. And this movie's about a nun who basically goes to a music school that's going to be shutting down if they don't win or get some money. Typical funding issues that, you know, hinder, of course, Black and brown kids from succeeding in life. But what's new? This movie is, like, legit. If you love Lauryn Hill, this should be on your top 5 of Black movies that you like. Sister Act, do that. This movie is Black and Blue, and this one stars Tyrese Gibson. It's about another naive Negro. She basically is a cop because she came back. She did a tour where Black people don't belong for like 10 years. So she went straight out of high school and she came back after 10 years, became a cop, and pretty much thought, like, you know, even though I'm a cop, I'm still cool, I'm still this. And it's like, when you in the hood, baby, people don't treat the cops like, oh, you was my dude, you know, you was bro, you was the homie, you know, back in 1997. It's 2007 and you're the op. We're not doing that. So she took it hard, and basically something happened and she became hunted by the LAPD. And she relied on Tyrese Gibson's character to basically help her stay alive. Watch the movie. It's really good. I think it kind of shows us in a better light. You know, we're not criminals, thugs, gang banging and tricking and all that. We're not doing that in this video. And it just shows, like, you know, even though Black people may start off and have a rough upbringing, like, we can turn it around. And honestly, the truth will set you free. Next, we have a documentary, and I wanted to throw this in there because I saw this documentary when it first came out. This movie or documentary is called Good Hair, and it was made by Chris Rock, and it just showed like the cultural adversity of, you know, weaves and wigs, and just talks about hair as a whole. And I think it was a very good watch. It was humorous. You know, most documentaries will bore you to sleep, and you're like, what the hell? Like, that's why I don't watch documentaries. But this one, I promise you, you will not go to sleep. You will have a good laugh. It features a lot of familiar faces. I just remember one scene where Raven Simone is doing this with her wig.
Like that.
She was doing that with her wig, and I was like, okay. The next movie we have is Why Do Fools Fall in Love? And this movie is about Frankie Lyman, his life, and he died a very tragic death. This is a biopic, very true, very real. And it stars some familiar faces, like, of course, honestly, this might as well just be Lorenz Tate movies, because like pretty much the entire list is like full of Lorenz Tate movies. Like, if you haven't noticed, I love that man with his short self. Come here, shorty. But yeah, it stars him. It stars Halle Berry, Lela Rochon, and I don't know the third girl. She's popular too. I don't know the third girl. That movie just is a biopic of the singer Frankie Lyman, and goes through his life, and basically tells it through the lens of his 3 lovers and 3 points of his life, where he was, you know, rich, poor, rich, in between, found love, changed his life, you know how biopics go. We need to let go of Ray Charles. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. There are other biopics that deserve, and Why Do Fools Fall in Love is one of them. When I tell you it's one of them, I saw it maybe twice, and it really just showcases how you really got to have thick skin in the industry, you know, the entertainment industry. You can't be going in there just thinking everything is sweet, because it's not. It's not sweet for us, not at all. It's bitter. So the last movie is Waist Deep, and this one stars Tyrese Gibson, Megan Good, The Game. Okay, to sum it up, because somebody gave the best analogy to this. Basically, this movie is literally like the Black version of Finding Nemo. And I don't know any other way to explain it, because that's like spot on. So Waist Deep stars Tyrese, and his son gets taken, and he does any and everything to get him back. And, you know, basically Megan Good's character would be considered Dory, and the guy who kidnapped his son would be the fisher that kidnapped Nemo, and so on and so forth. So literally it's the Black version of that. And I think that this movie is very underrated because it's just not watched or talked about. And it's a really good, like, it's not one of those corny movies that you're like, this is why nobody watches it. It's just one of those movies that slips through the crack of being like a good movie night movie with the homegirls, with the homies, date night, whatever. Like, this movie is really worth it. And honestly, that movie, I couldn't watch that and not get tired of it. With all that being said, that is all the movies I have for you guys. I hope when and if you guys watch these movies, you enjoy them as much as I do. And please let me know which movies you did like, you didn't like, any movies you want to recommend me to watch. And don't forget to thumbs up the video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.